My name's Staff Sgt. Salvatore Giunta, and I'm from Hiawatha, Iowa. The day was like any other, I guess, October day in Afghanistan. So it starts off cold, cool in the morning, and then the day heated up. It's hot in the sun. Second platoon finished in the village. Dusk is falling, so we're gonna move out under the cover of, darkness. Rock avalanches coming to a close, and we start our walk back. We usually have like our set order of movement. I guess order of movement just being who's gonna walk point, who's gonna be after him. Our teams follow in line always the same way every time, and terrain always dictates how we're gonna move. But at this time on the ridge of a mountain with night falling, Apaches overhead, small little goat trails that we're walking on, it's gonna be single file. We're not gonna bunch up on each other. We're not gonna walk on each other's packs. We're gonna keep our distance, 10, 15 meters, make sure we don't present ourselves as targets regardless of who's watching. You're a target, but it's better not to be a big target. And our order of movement was first squad, and first squad order of movement would just be alpha team. So Sergeant Brennan, Eckroad, Sergeant Gallardo, myself, Casey, Clary, in that order. And then behind us was an element of the headquarters element, which is going to be like the LT, his radio man, the FO, a medic, an engineer. Then behind them was a gun team from weapons squad. So the gun team consisting of 240 and another three soldiers, plus the weapons squad leader was there. Since I was a big mission, it's best to have experience. It all was set off. They did an excellent job. They did what we would do. Same thing, same procedures, L shape, good distance. We saw tracers everywhere. Tracers, they don't usually, it's not tracer. It's tracer, maybe 3-4 rounds, tracer. So to see tracers absolutely everywhere. In front of you, behind you, around you, on the ground, in the air, flying over you, RPGs. The initial contact was just intense. It was pretty intense initial contact. Initially, fire back, take cover. Two things. You can do them simultaneously. You just need to know you're putting rounds downrange. You need to shoot where they're shooting from and let them know, you. This ain't gonna happen, not today. I was in a perfect position because I was right there in that little washout defilade area that I was telling you about. And I was able just to drop down and turn because it came directly from like the west, from our left as we were coming back down. And we were just a little over the ridge. So we did have a little bit, maybe a foot and a half, but just take as much cover as you can. That's the best cover you're gonna find. The rest is just these little, 1.5-foot bushes or these trees that are 3 inches wide. So I was in a good position. I had a good position for myself. Dropped down, returned fire, saw kind of the bigger picture of what was happening, because then this way it's all in front of us as opposed to the rounds were coming, left to right, and now we're seeing the flashes and it's all clicking on how close this is and about how many people we're up against. I'm not the Rain Man by any means, but you can get a feel of a lot as opposed to, a few. Casey and Clary, to my left, that's gonna be my next direct. I need to see what's up with them. This is the team. Sergeant Gallardo's worrying about the squad. Brennan's worrying about his team. So my team, what's going on? Casey's down, same kind of little defilade area. Clary's down. His area wasn't as big as Casey's or mine was, but he's still laying down on the ground. Both firing back. Kind of shout to them, hey, cyclic to Casey. Casey's The SAL is the M249, which is your mass casualty producing weapon in a team. Just hammer it, just rock it, just shoot everything, shoot back and forth, shoot all the lights. And he did that, and he was already doing that. I mean, it's pretty chaotic. I'm gonna say that, I'm gonna yell that, but he's doing it. He already knew that. He's a professional. This is what we get paid to do. We didn't go out there and like, hey, we're gonna deploy to Afghanistan. Like, this is what pays our bills. This is what gives us money to have fun. This is the life that we chose to live, at least at this moment in time. I looked up the trail and saw Sergeant Gallardo pushing forward towards Alpha Team, and there's just that same initial wall is still happening. Like, this whole time, their initial contact within the first 5 seconds, all this is first 5 seconds or less, has not stopped. They're all shooting cyclic. There's RPGs going above our heads. Most of them were all the RPGs were mainly above. And Sergeant Gallardo is trying to move forward, and it's just, you can see it. It's a wall of tracers. That's not really something you want to go running through. I was shooting to the left, preparing to look to my right, saw Sergeant Gallardo trying to push forward through the wall of bullets, and I got hit. And I knew what happened when I got hit because it kind of poofed and like, oh, whatever, you know, it doesn't hurt, why stop? Continued to shoot, but that came from this way. It came from our right. It came from northern part of the valley, which below us was 2nd Platoon, but that was a steep decline and still a ways away. And Brennan's up there, Necrod's up there, and Gallardo's up there, and it came from that way. And they sure as hell ain't shooting this way. And that bullet didn't come from the left. It didn't come from everyone shooting that we see, which at that point there's nothing to do with it. Just, you know, put it in the mind like, bad spot to be, because right now if one bullet can hit here, 2 bullets can hit here, and they can come right down this line. That's what we would do. If we set up an L-shape ambush, that's what makes the L-shape, is them coming down the line. Once they get everyone focused here and on line, they come and swoop through the side. It's perfect. And so I pushed back out of this little draw, hoping maybe you can't see that far up there, but had Casey and Clary drop back only, you know, a foot or 2. That's their best spot, but it's just not that good a spot right now. And Gallardo came running back to link up with us, you know, because it was a big wall of fire. And he, on his way back to us, kind of right in the area where I got hit, maybe 10 meters in front of it, still a little 10 meters northwest, so still between us and on the line of fire coming here, I saw his head kind of like ding. And didn't think he tripped. I saw his head ding, like, you know, it's still, this is all fast. It's all still happening. Didn't jump up to help him up. I didn't think he was gonna get up. I was gonna go just grab him and pull him back. Do the best. That's my next move. My guys are doing everything they can do. Me shooting an M4, okay, I can shoot, you know, maybe another 30 rounds or another 15 of just popping them off, but it'd be better to grab him. And when I jumped up to go and grab him, he didn't even fall all the way to the ground. So his head got hit, and he's kind of hitting his hands on the ground, trying to keep his balance and coming around. And I was up with him, just kind of grabbed onto his shoulder. At that time, we came back. Casey and Clary are still firing. We have no idea of anything that's happening. My realm of understanding of this whole time only consists of the next 15 meters behind me, because I linked up with with Casey. Casey's with Clary. We're all within closer proximity of when we were walking. And I had grenades on me. Gallardo had grenades on him. Clary had grenades on him. So we consolidated the grenades. And when we went to throw our first toss of grenades, I threw mine. You can really throw anywhere. You're gonna hit someone. And Gallardo threw his, and his went a lot farther than mine. And I got the rucksack on my back, but I can't drop the ruck because I still have the small D on it, and I still have claymores, which, with what is going on, it's not, you don't want to leave anything anywhere. It's just better to keep it with you and stay together. And we threw them. We all moved up. We got down again, prepped again, threw again, ran up some more. I had one more grenade left. Gallardo had one more grenade left. We threw one more time and pushed forward more, and as a team, so Clary, Casey, myself, and Gallardo all pushed through. As we ran from that last grenade, we ran up on Neck Road, and he's moving. He's working the saw. He's trying to get, it was jammed. He's trying to get it sorted out, trying to return fire. At that point, it was pointless for all of us to stop there. Like, Neck Road's here, got a pretty good idea. I'm gonna know where Brennan's at. And Casey has his saw. Casey's still doing a lot of shooting, which is important that Casey continues to do a lot of shooting. It's more important maybe that he shoots now than he runs. Clary's behind Casey, so they're doing that. Gallardo's moving towards Neck Road. So Casey's doing his thing, Clary's doing his thing, Gallardo's doing his thing. I could stand there and be useless or just go with what I think is the next step. The next step being, I'll find Brennan, you know. We'll shoot together, make sure everything's good with him, let him know that everything's good with us, let him know where we're at, so we have an idea of the small battle space that we're working with. We know our pieces in it. If he's gonna decide to throw a grenade, hey, not this way, you know. All those thoughts kind of running, those would be the next things I'd be talked about. Just ran past Neck Road and up the trail to where Brennan is supposed to be at, should be at, probably will be at, and he's not really there. And I came up on three guys, and two guys were carrying one guy. I saw the people, but I couldn't make out everything. And one guy had another guy's arms, and the other guy had the guy's legs, and they were moving backwards. They were well, not backwards, but they were moving towards the west, which would be away from where we're going, which is towards the gunfire. And as I'm running, I noticed, you know, they're not friendlies. And that's not an Afghani that they're carrying. And so I just run and shoot and run. You know, they weren't ready for that. They both had their guns slung on their backs. They had a guy in their arms. So when I ran up on them, I was just shoot to kill. I mean, that's what time it is. It's time to get rid of them. And I shot one guy, and he dropped. And the other guy, before the one guy actually like fell, the other guy was already gone. And at that time, by the time that guy dropped, the other guy was gone. Brennan's on the ground. He doesn't have his helmet. He doesn't have his rucksack. He doesn't have his gun. He's hurt. He's alive. I grabbed him on the back of the IOTVs. There's a handle. Grabbed the handle and just started running back from the direction, kind of going back to where I thought that he would be, you know. Subconsciously or thinking back, that's why I ran there, and that's where they're going to go next after Echo. That would be the process of how things would work. So it's better to be found where they're at and be out of the front area, because the area they were at that time, there wasn't any trees, and it was this eerie, I don't know if it was an eerie area. For me, it was eerie. When I think back on it, it's eerie to me every time I think about it, but there wasn't as many bushes as there was everywhere else. It was flat, and it was flat on top of the ridge where the rest of the ridge was pointed. And there wasn't any real there was no shooting in my area at that time. When I got him back, you know, I know he's alive. I see him, he's alive. He's complaining he's hurt. Yeah, man, I got that, brother. I know you're hurt. Tried to undo his IOTV. I'm just gonna check for wounds. I'm not getting shot at. I'm okay. There's guys coming and everything will be fine. I got a new magazine and gun. I'm ready if they do come. And had him squeeze my one hand while I'm checking for the other hand, because it's nighttime, so I need to feel more than I can see, and I need to feel for the blood, and I need to feel for the holes. And he's complaining his chest hurt, so, you know, the way his face looked, there's gonna be a breathing problem, but he's talking. So that's good. Clary showed up, Clary starts pulling security. There was a grenade that blew up, to the front left. At that, you don't know if it's ours, if it's theirs, maybe it wasn't a grenade, there was an explosion. Coming through the explosion, Sergeant Gallardo, he came running through and he called up on the radio about Brennan. He started helping me evaluate Brennan. What we didn't know was Mendoza, who is the medic, was shot, probably initial contact shortly after, and so he wasn't going to be coming. But who did end up coming was Sergeant Shelton ended up showing up, who is the platoon sergeant, and there was a medic from 3rd Platoon. I don't remember exactly who it was. Then there was a male nurse that was with us just for this mission. So, that more experience. We try to bring the better guys that we have, or, just bring what we can. And he showed up, and he decided, he put the thing on Brennan's finger, do his heart rate and all that. And Brennan starts kind of going unconscious, he's not responding. I really feel that this is about the truest statement that I could make about it. As far as I only did the next thing that needed to be done, and I was only able to do it because the men around me had the rest of it taken care of. It's hard to take credit for simply the next step when so many steps had already been taken by everyone else. I didn't do, in the process of this L-shaped ambush, there was probably 1,000,001 things that needed to be done. And everyone was taking it a step at a time in their own lane, in their own piece, fitting in their pieces of the puzzle. My puzzle by no means was the biggest piece. My part of the puzzle wasn't the best piece. Mine wasn't the hardest piece to put in, and it wasn't the easiest piece to put in. It was just another piece of the puzzle that put together this whole picture, and how they fought us and we fought them, and how it all panned out. You can read citations and stuff about the Medal of Honor, and everyone's heard about someone who's received the Medal of Honor, and these people are like superhuman. I'm not that guy. Okay, cool. What's cool is I'm still here. That's freaking lucky. I'm not superhuman. I didn't dodge them. Good thing we have IBAs. Good thing I ran fast enough, or I ran slow enough, or whatever it was, it worked out for me. Thank God. God was looking out for me. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I was lucky. Not heroic. I was lucky. I didn't, when I read it sometimes and I hear someone talk about it, or even, the different articles, and I see it and it makes it sound like I ran through bullets to save my buddy. No. I didn't run through any bullets. I got hit with one bullet. It didn't hurt. It didn't actually hit me. I got hit in the small D that I was carrying. Didn't hit me. Lucky me. It's a rocket. We're all good. I didn't go and save a buddy. I ran up to get next to him. I ran up to find out what's up. I ran up to tell him, this is where we're at. This is where you're at. This is what I've seen. I ran up there to shoot next to him to help him shoot. He would be waiting there for me if he could have been shooting to cover me while I came running into him. When I read it, it sounds like I went out of my way to do something special. I didn't do anything special. I didn't go out of my way. That was the next step. Here I am taking the next step. Boom. So when someone says, you can put you in for the Medal of Honor, I think about Brennan, and I think about Mendoza. Why do they want to give this to me? Because I got 2 good buddies that I lost that night, and I don't deserve it. Don't give me the highest medal. I don't need a medal. I didn't do anything for a medal. I didn't do anything in particular for Brennan. I did what I was supposed to do. It's important to bring everyone into this because no one acted alone. I can't be a leader without someone to follow me, and I can't be a leader unless everyone has a boss. My boss was right there with me. My boss was leading the way. My boss did this. My boss did that. I was doing stuff because my guys were going to follow me. My guys were going to follow me because they knew how it was going to go and that I was going to hopefully lead them to something that was going to help us as a whole, the same way I followed Sergeant Gallardo. They all knew exactly what they were doing along the way. It worked out really well. Pretty well, fairly well. It didn't really work out really well. It definitely could have been better, but I just don't know how to find that.